So this was 2015, 16. I was sleeping in the parking lot of a hotel in Laguna Beach, the Seaside Laguna Inn. There was stairs right down to the beach right there. It's like, I don't know, 15 or 20 steps. And so when I had to turn in the car, I just walked down those steps, and there's a little crevice behind the steps and the rocks there, and I slept there for a couple days. And then I was hanging out on the beach or walking down the sidewalk, and I met this guy that was around the hotel, and he was the manager, and he was around my age. And I'm like, look, man, I could really use a bed tonight. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, if we have any vacancies after 11:30, then I'll rent it to you for $20. I'm like, all right, cool. Because with a reservation and everything, it was like $100 a night. Right. And no way I could afford that. So I'd have to wait every night, and then I'd go see him at 11:30. I would go to the McDonald's and use the Wi-Fi and, send my resume to insurance companies. After like 3 weeks of that, I landed a job, not in the insurance industry. I was slinging DirecTV in a Walmart. You want a hard job. That is tough. I was still motivated at that time, but I knew this was not the permanent solution. I still wanted to get into insurance, so I was all along still sending my stuff in and even interviewing at insurance brokerage firms. I interviewed at Marsh and Lockton and Willis and Alliant, and a lot of the big names, and nobody would give me a shot. And then finally, I got a job offer from the Woodage Company in Irvine. Right, I was a broker, so they brought me in and put me in an empty room and gave me a phone and a phone book, and they said, you need to make 300 calls a day. Well, one, I didn't have a choice. I had to do what I had to do, right? And the phone is a little bit of a safety net to where you're not right in front of somebody, and I don't know these people. And worst case scenario, this doesn't work out, and I go back slinging DirecTV at a Walmart. I've been in worse places. So, and I think that's the message that I try to tell my son. And, I have a little brother and my sister, and that if you go through those hard times, making a couple of phone calls to some rich folks, like, that's not a big deal. You can handle it. You don't have to like it. But, it was no big deal. Like I said, I was brushing my teeth in the Taco Bell bathroom of Laguna Beach. They only have one Taco Bell. And so I was, I want to go back there and take a picture. But the bathroom was like on the side of the building, and I would go in there, and that's where I would have to brush my teeth. And like, that's the low of the low, right? Or living in a single wide trailer that you think's going to blow away, or you got green carpet. Making a couple of phone calls in a really nice building in Irvine to some rich folks. Yeah, whatever, no problem. My name is Zack Brown, and I work at Modern Rain Insurance Brokers.
No, dude, zero nerves. This is going to be the funnest podcast you've ever been on.
Yeah. I've never been on a podcast.
so already,
I'm sure
we're already number one.
Number one in your heart. Okay. me. All right, well.
Unique New York.
Get the enunciation going. Welcome to T.O.A. Storytellers, everybody. My name is T.O.A. I'm joined by Rick Castro.
Hello.
On this podcast, in addition to being a court reporting agency, we bring you work comp news and interviews like today, so you can be informed about what's happening in the work comp industry and hear amazing stories directly from the mouths of the luminaries themselves. This podcast is sponsored by T.O.A. and Associates Court Reporting. If you have a deposition, please give us a chance. We've been in business for 19 years. We treat our clients like family, and we don't let family down. Right, Rick?
That is correct.
You can check us out at www.toddleavis.com. In addition to court reporting, we also offer CEU and MCLA education. And, why does a court reporting agency offer education? We offer it as a way of trying to differentiate ourselves from our competitors by offering uncommon value to the industry. So, in other words, if you need court reporting or CEUs or MCLEs, please check out toddleavis.com/register for our latest webinar or seminars. Or if you just want to listen to this podcast, that's cool too. Leave us a kind review, and it's much appreciated. All right, for the main event. On today's show, we have a first-timer on the T.O.A. Storytellers podcast, a person who I've personally been trying to get on here since January 2020, 2 years plus. basically many lifetimes ago. This guy has a Bachelor of Business Administration from Indiana Institute of Technology. He's worked his way up from Enterprise Rent-A-Car, territory manager of a Midwest equipment and supply company, producer at the Wooditch Group here in Orange County, partner at Orion Risk Management, and now CEO of Modern Rain Insurance Brokers. His is an amazing story of a kid who sold his belongings and drove a rental car across the country with a backpack to sleep on the Southern California beach and fight his way into the insurance industry, and is now trying to redefine it. His company has already saved me thousands of dollars of insurance premiums because, spoiler alert, I'm a satisfied customer. He's the strong, handsome, silent type, residing here in local Mission Viejo, husband to Giselle, daddy to Link, partner to Josh. He's like if Michael Bublé started an insurance company and took over the world. So please welcome to the T.O.A. Storytellers podcast, my friend Zack Brown.
Thank you.
Zack Brown, dude.
Well, that's a wrap. You told
That's a wrap.
You told the whole story.
That's
right
it.
there, so
Everybody,
we're
thanks for
good.
coming.
Yeah.
No, dude. Okay.
I was nervous for nothing.
I know. I did all the talking for you. I wrote
didn't
it
have
all
to talk
down.
at all. Right.
Well, I read it hopefully exactly the way you wrote it. So said it all. Now we'll just kind of settle in here. I know this is
Was that a beer?
crack open a coldie.
Of course.
What are you drinking up there? Oh wait, that's not a drink.
No, this is my spit cup. I think I already won the award for biggest redneck on your podcast.
Zach was showing his hunting pictures right before
Yeah.
this. It's awesome.
Super
Yep.
cool.
This giant, like man-sized deer in his garage
Yep.
from Indiana days, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And I got some tobacco in, so I'm good to go. I'm not nervous anymore.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so you got a Skull can right there, right?
Skull. No, I got
It's not Skull.
Grizzly.
Grizzly.
So really, there's only two brands that you should consider. It's Kodiak and Grizzly.
Okay.
And so, but Grizzly is the welfare bear. So
Yeah.
if you got money, you're chewing Kodiak, but Grizzly is the welfare bear.
Nice.
It's cheap
Nice.
stuff. Cheap stuff. But you're saying, man, you've been chewing chaw for like years? Like a
Yeah,
long
like
time?
since I was 15 or 16.
Oh, dang.
And you know, off and on, and then once college hit, it was
Yeah, totally.
full bore.
Yeah.
So
Every day? Like just
every day,
pop some in?
almost all day.
And you put it right in front of your lip, right
On the side.
On the side.
Yeah.
Because you have it, but it doesn't impact your speech at all. You never sound like you have anything in your mouth.
You can't even see it.
No, I think every time you've ever seen me, I probably have a dip in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's just the way I am. I don't know.
It's commitment.
Yeah.
It's commitment.
Also, you know, it's funny. I didn't think this was going to be the opening topic, but
Dude, anything goes.
it's kind of like I have a twitch or something that my mind runs 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I have a dip in, it keeps it's like the drum beat. You know I don't know what
Like a metronome?
no, like a drummer, the drum that he does with his foot.
Oh, yeah.
Kick, the kick drum.
Yeah, the constant, right? And when I have a dip in, I feel like that's the constant. It kind of
Right.
calms everything down, and it's
Really?
yeah.
Wow, dude, that's cool.
So
Yeah.
if I have to do any sort of thinking or watch
Yeah.
a movie or drive or
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I always
Gotta have that.
I always thought it was the opposite. I always thought it was like something that hypes you up, but no, the opposite.
I mean, for a first timer, yeah,
Right.
but not after 15 years.
Maybe I
Yeah.
should try some.
Yeah.
I need that constant kick beat drum pattern straight down the center line to help me focus, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah. And you go all out too. You're one of those guys that, yeah, absolutely. You do 100%. You go all out.
I do?
Yeah, for everything.
On what? Name one thing.
Surfing,
Okay. Other than that. What else?
core reporting.
Okay, what else? I said name one thing.
Yeah, okay,
not-
okay.
Anyway, this is not my show.
Yeah, I do some other things too that are kind of weird. Like, you know, my wife could probably tell you how annoying it is, but I like click my teeth. And
Oh.
it's weird that I do it
Like,
No.
make the sound.
from left to right.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
And I do it like I'm typing on a keyboard.
Okay.
So if I see a word and I do it without even thinking. So like
Yeah.
Olivas, I would like type right on my right side twice for O and L. And then my
Oh
left
my
hand
God.
would
Oh,
click the
wow.
IMV. And I also do it with my feet. Like
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
find myself doing it during a movie
Yeah.
or something. And I'll hear like
Wow.
Iron Man say,
Yeah.
you know, Captain America. And so I'll type America with my feet.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know.
Hey, I do something weird too, like that when I drive. I do the same thing, but on shadows, like of trees. I'll do the same thing. I have to lift up my feet on every single, and my wife gets so upset
On
because
every shot you have to lift
sometimes the girl goes back for.
What happens if you don't? Like the world ends. And
No. I mean, if I catch myself doing it, because I don't even think about it. If I catch myself doing it, then I can just okay, I don't need to do it. But
it's weird, just those little idiosyncrasies,
little twitches, right?
Right.
Things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. And dip kind of falls in that category for me. It's
comes
my body busy.
Yeah.
So my mind can think.
So you don't have to chew at all. It's not. Well,
No.
Why do they call it chew then?
So chew and dip are two different
okay.
things. So like chaw,
Yeah.
you chew it. It's like very leafy.
Oh, okay.
This is more like dirt.
Like, cool.
They're more compact.
Yeah.
So it's like taking a piece of bubble gum or something.
I'm into
and
Big
sticking it
League
in
Chew.
your-
I was
I
going to
got
say
you.
the Big League Chew. That's the one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but
That's
you don't
legit,
have to,
right?
you don't have to chew it like gum. It's just like sitting in your
Oh,
lip.
okay.
So I don't
Cool.
know. Yeah, it's pretty redneck, but I don't know. It's hard for me to.
I love it,
It's
dude.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for
Cool.
me to change who I am. so.
You don't need to. You don't need to. You're doing great like that, man.
Hey man, congrats on the new corporation, Modern Rain.
Thank you. September
Kicking butt,
of
dude.
last year. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's a whole set of new stressors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you fully understand. But before I've just always been a salesperson.
Yeah.
And all I do is go out and focus on the next sale. And now I have to worry about payroll and, all these other people and their families and their, benefits and making sure that the company is stable, not just for me. I mean, because I'd put it all on the table, and I
Right.
have
Oh, totally.
several times.
Yeah.
But
When you're gambling with other people's families,
exactly,
it's different.
I can't gamble with other people's chips. And so it's just a whole new set of responsibilities and in a good way. And I feel like there's good stress and there's bad stress.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been brushing my teeth in a Taco Bell bathroom, and that's bad stress. And these kind of stressors are good things.
What would you say is one of the surprising aspects about having started your own, thing? Maybe that you didn't know was going to be there, or that's just kind of like, was a little bit of a surprise.
I guess it's not too much of a surprise, but I mean, there are some haters out there, and
They come out of the woodwork, when you start to succeed. It's fear.
And there are other companies that we work with, like, so we're in the insurance industry, obviously, and dealing with Travelers and Liberty, and like everybody wants their piece of the pie, and they know that they hold some power, and they hold that over you a little bit.
Right.
With hey, we could
Like represent our lines instead of our competitors' lines.
or else.
Or
You can no longer do business with us. Now, they haven't came out and said that, but
Yeah.
I mean, I could see them saying that
Right.
if we weren't sending them. Like, we do get regular calls like, hey, we only got 7 submissions last month, and
What's wrong?
we expect 9.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's hard.
It's hard.
And we were in a
coming out of the pandemic.
no, not so much that, but starting our new company. Whenever we started our new company, there were carriers that were like, absolutely, we want to work with you from day one, and had our back. And then you go to a new carrier and say, hey, can we get appointed with you? And they'll say yes, but you have to send us, $1.5 million worth of business over the next 12 months. And they fully expect you to pull business from other carriers that you've placed business with and put it with them. It's not just new business to you.
Oh.
It's your existing business too.
Oh, wow.
No way.
And I would never do
Cancel
that to somebody that had my back from day one, where we really needed it and we were vulnerable. And they didn't hesitate in supporting us. I'm not going to turn around and take business from them and give it to somebody that's trying to blackmail us.
Yeah.
No kidding, dude. That's kind of cutthroaty. I didn't. That's a surprise. I didn't know. That I wouldn't have known to have expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that happens behind the curtain that people just don't know. That and there is profit sharing with Hartford and Travelers and Liberty and Chubb. They'll give you kickbacks essentially if you send them enough business, and it can, and I've seen it, drive the behavior of brokers, and not necessarily maybe go with the most competitive or the best fit, but what is best for them on the back end. So,
well, I can say from personal experience, and this is just me talking now, as your client, basically on this hat I'm wearing right now is, dude, I had come from, I think, a place that probably was more like that, where it's like, maybe they were steering me in directions and offering me stuff that was better for them than me. But when I switched over to you, I mean, just on one of the lines, the cyber one, for example, I need cyber insurance for one particular client, and so had to get that. It was super expensive where I was. When I switched over to you guys, it was like a fifth of the fee that you found me.
Yeah.
I would still be paying way too much money elsewhere, and so, dude, I mean, thank you to you guys for helping me.
Not a problem, man. I mean,
That's the way it goes.
we think of it in 20-year terms and not 1-year terms. We're not going to get rich off your account. We're not going to get rich off any account. But 20 years worth of that revenue and doing a good job and to where you stick around. And ultimately it's, what would you want your broker to do? That's what I tell all my people in anything. What would you want your broker to do? If your phone rings at 9 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock in the morning, would you want your broker to answer? Would you want your broker to respond to an email? How long would you want your broker to wait before they respond? And that should drive your decision making. It's the golden rule, right? Treat people how you want to be treated.
The team you've hired, I've sent emails after hours, and boom, he'll answer right away. I'm talking about John. I'm talking about Martine.
Yeah, Martine's good.
You know what I mean? And these guys, 8 o'clock at night, I didn't expect an answer. I'm moving on with my evening, trying to, but they're responding back on stuff that I could have waited for the next day, but it was like they were Johnny on the spot.
Yeah. I think everybody on our team has that in them, and I think that us preaching it just kind of brings it out of
modeling
everybody
it.
a little
You can
bit.
tell when the founders have a certain culture because it always leaks down.
Right.
Like we will go to different offices. Well, especially before the pandemic, we would go in person to visit our clients, and we could always tell the mood of the place by the gatekeeper, by the person at the front desk.
Yeah.
If the boss was nice, they're nice. They're jovial and generous with their time. If they were not feeling that, if the opposite, then you could tell if that is filtered down.
Yeah, I mean, what we do is a commodity, right? So, I mean, is that the right word? Commodity?
Yeah, for sure. Like widgets, making widgets. Right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do it. And so it's the little things that make the difference, like showing up early.
Yeah.
I showed up an hour early for this podcast. Early. But, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're fired. And and that was, I learned that the hard way. I showed up late to something. And my dad went to his work. This was when I was in maybe 7th grade. And I was late to practice, I think. And he went to his work and printed something out, an article about how being late was so disrespectful and it was a form of theft.
Oh, yeah.
It was stealing somebody else's time. It was disrespectful and saying that your time's not valuable. Yeah. And so
I agree.
But he sat there and he made me read it out loud to him.
Wow.
And just little things like that. I've never been. I try not to be late. I think it's extremely important. Just to focus on those little things and it comes back to you tenfold, how people treat you and how people think about you.
Back to what you were saying just a couple of seconds ago, you said the 20-year mindset on, that's how you build a career. It's not a one-year pump to, have a great quarter by, selling Todd on some insurance that he doesn't really need, but who cares, because you can just churn through all the Todds of the world, But no, I've always felt, dealing with you guys, you and Josh and your team, that there was like the long tail approach. Like this is, you want to have long and deep roots in this industry. Is that true?
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. So especially because we just started. So, but yeah, no, that's extremely important to think in. There's a lot of ancillary benefits of taking that approach, and just the tone or the feeling that things don't feel rushed. No. Things don't feel last minute. Things don't feel dirty or not in your best benefit. Yeah. So it's just all those little things, and that long-term mindset, makes people feel comfortable. And when people feel comfortable, you usually...
I totally feel comfortable. In fact, I wanted to give you other lines, but you guys aren't offering those specific lines for whatever reasons. And rather than just saying yes to me and figuring out along the way, maybe me not being disserviced by that, by saying yes to everything, you can't be great at anything, maybe.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, we have walk-away power, and I think that is a form of being genuine. too, is that we probably could have wrote those other lines, but they wouldn't have turned out, the best for you.
Yeah.
And, we could have made a little money, but that's really not what it's about. At least for me, it's never been about the money, ever. I'm a simple guy. I eat SpaghettiOs, hot dogs. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before I came here. And I mean, if I had hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, it would be the same thing. Wow. I would have ate a peanut butter and jelly before I came here. And, and when you don't focus on that, I think, it shines a light on the things that are important, like making somebody feel comfortable, saving somebody else money, adding value to somebody else. So I think that's what we focus on, and I don't know, and not just focus because that's the business model. I mean, that's just who we are. That's who we try to hire. That's how Josh is, and it's a miracle that I found Josh to partner with, and that we aligned so well and we're good at different things. But our morals and ethics and the way we want to treat people are so in line. It's crazy. It's like a marriage. Yeah. Little bromance, as his wife would say, Sandra.
I totally can see that in you guys. Whether or not you had been selling insurance, which you are, or if you guys were selling widgets or golf balls or tins of chew, you guys would have brought your personalities to that business and treated people the right way. I believe that. Maybe it is a fortuitous miracle that you guys hooked up, because you guys are like cut from the same cloth. Somehow you guys hooked up. How did you guys meet anyway?
Yeah. Well, real quick before we get to that,
Sure.
I don't think that we sell products. That's not how I view it. I don't sell products or services or, whatever. But I think that we present ourselves to situations where we think that we can add value for somebody else. Mm-hmm. Whether that's insurance or even if you need help moving out of your house, we're an insurance brokerage, but you need me to move some furniture for you, then I'd be more than happy to do so. And doing that, only participating in situations where you think that you can add value provides that walk away power. And I say walk away power, but walk away, you're willing to walk away from something like your situation, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're willing to walk away from that revenue,
right?
Because it wasn't in the best interest of all parties involved.
Yeah.
And so, when we do that, we can deal with clients that fit our style and buy into what we're trying to do and see us as a value add and not a necessary evil, right?
Wow, very well said.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Josh and I, let's
yeah, you have some notes. I don't want to jump the train. If you got a path here, let's do it.
I was so nervous because I'm not very creative and like coming up with topics to talk
about.
Dude,
you keep saying that, but look at this thing you're creating. That's called creativity right there. All of this whole life that you've.
If somebody can open the door, then I can run through it. But yeah, so I grew up in Indiana. And
born and raised there?
Yep. Well, I was born in Jacksonville, North Carolina. My old man was a Marine, Camp Lejeune. And when I was little, we moved to Indiana. That's where my parents were from. And I grew up there, and parents were freaking fantastic. My dad, Wendell, and my mom, Stacy. Anyways, went off to college when I was 17 and got a baseball scholarship and
wow.
Played baseball there when I was 18. You may not know this because you didn't introduce him in your intro, but I have a son. He's 14.
Oh shoot! I didn't mean to miss him out.
Yeah, no, Landon. He's such a beautiful kid, man. In so many ways, not just the way he looks, but I mean he is handsome. But I mean he's such a stud at anything that he does: baseball, basketball, football, golf, soccer. Matter of fact, he just joined the golf team and he had his first tournament yesterday. So he was texting me every single hole.
Oh, wow.
Bogey, double bogey, par.
14?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So cool.
Landon, bro, I didn't mean to leave you out of the picture, the family tree.
No. So yeah, that's my little boy. So, well, not little, so more. He's a teenager now. But yeah, so when I was 18, we had him. And so, that was new, obviously a blessing, but, but it was for an 18-year-old to tackle that. It was it was a different experience. And so I was playing baseball, going to college, and working construction at nights.
Wow.
We were renting a. Sorry, I had to spit. A single wide trailer
Wow.
in Dongola, Illinois.
Wow.
And so
You and Landon.
I was in Southern, no, and his mom. And I went to Southern Illinois and then transferred to Indiana Tech eventually. But yeah, we were living in a trailer and I was working construction at nights. And so I'd work until like 7 o'clock in the morning and then go shower at the gym.
Wow.
And then go to school. And then after school, I'd have practice or games. And but yeah, that was a challenging part of my life. Or it's had a lot going on. It was nothing bad, but it was just a challenge to.
Yeah.
And when you get so busy and wrapped up in everything that's in front of you and on your plate, it's difficult to think ahead or look ahead. What could be possible. You're just so busy in the daily grind that. That you could very easily just stay in that cycle forever and ever and ever and ever, So, but yeah. Anyways, I remember the trailer had green carpet, and it would sway whenever there was a storm. Yeah, and it got really cold in the winter.
Wow.
And so yeah, that was it. It's cool to look back on that and see where I'm at now.
Don't trailers cause tornadoes? That's what I heard.
Trailers cause tornadoes? Never heard that.
Stupid joke.
So
makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, after college, I got into enterprise rent a car, and I learned
What kind of position? Just like
the guy you talk to.
renter.
Yeah, when you go
rental desk guy.
Yeah, it's I forget what they called it, sales intern or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I got promoted like 5 times in a couple of years, so that was really good. But it was retail sales.
Yeah.
And if anybody listening to this has ever been in retail sales, you learn to hate people.
Unfortunately, right?
And I don't like saying that word. Hate. It's pretty strong, but I specifically remember one day where we had a line out the door. We had the busiest branch in Indiana. It was in Fort Wayne.
Is it near an airport?
It was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was the busiest like standalone enterprise.
Okay.
It wasn't in an airport. Airports are a different monster. But I specifically remember one day we had a line out the door, and
they're all pissed.
And I had to go deliver a car to a corporate account. It was Bradley, the purses. What is it? Vera Bradley.
Oh.
That's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So I had to go deliver a car to them, and when I got back, the lobby was full of people and a line out the door. And I walked in and walked behind the desk, and 2 of my employees were knelt down, sitting on their butt with their back against the
Oh my gosh.
just hiding from the customer.
No way. Was that bad? They just couldn't they couldn't take it anymore.
I swear. And I was like, what are you doing? And they said, we're in here taking grenades, man.
Combat pay.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, you learn to just hate people.
Yeah.
I mean, think about reasons people want to rent a car. Spring break. My love cuts. What a shit show that is. And you just totaled your vehicle, or your boss is sending you out of town, or whatever.
Right.
There's all bad reasons. Nobody goes and rents a car for a good reason,
fun, no.
unless you're a drug dealer on the weekends, which we had plenty of. Yeah. Come in and rent the Camaro to dish the drugs out of. And
that's funny.
I learned a lot.
Sucks,
I learned a lot about how to deal with people, and that the real world, people want more of a hookup type of feeling than, yes, we have a very good product, and this is what you should do, and this is how it's going to benefit you. More like, that's the C-suite, which we do sell to, but I try to shy away from. And just real world people want to know that they're getting taken care of.
Like, hey man, let me hook you up here. I got you.
Exactly. The drug dealer would come in, and the Camaro was, $150, but he rented a small car, and I'm like, hey, I'll give you the Camaro for like $10 extra, man.
Yeah.
And
really?
and he's like, all right, yeah. I'm like, but you got to take the damage waiver. And that's how
Yeah.
our sales analytics was if we sold the insurance. I'm like, yeah, but you got to take the insurance. And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. If you hook me up with the Camaro for $10, heck yeah. So, I did really well and I got promoted a lot because I was in good with those types of folks. And so, I was in tight with all the drug dealers.
Yeah, did they give kickbacks?
Different.
Yeah, different types of kickbacks.
No, but their perception was that they were getting
They got a good
hooked
deal
up,
out of you,
but,
dude. You're the bro.
But I knew nobody was going to come in for $150 on a Camaro.
Right.
It would have sat there all night and we'd have lost money.
Right.
So we won, they won. It's just how you shape it, right?
Yeah.
And so then a guy had walked in, and it was one of those situations where I hooked him up, and he worked at a company called Midwest something or other. It's on my LinkedIn, but Midwest Equipment Supply.
That's it.
And they sold lawnmowers, and I had hooked him up, and he said, hey, how much you making here? I'm like, I don't know, $38,000 or $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'll double it if you come work for us. I'm like,
Wow.
all right,
Done deal.
done,
Same day.
Yeah.
done. So he was like on a trip for a week or something and came back, and then I made the move, and so then I was selling lawnmowers, slinging lawnmowers, man, and it was fun. Because I got to learn business to business sales.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. Mm-hmm. That's the way I looked at it, because I always did have like a bigger plan. And I knew I needed to round myself out. I need to be able to sell to the drug dealer, and I need to be able to sell to
corporate sales guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. People that a business owner like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really beneficial. And so I felt like I had not perfected, but I had mastered that craft of retail sales, because, I was the rising star there. And then the lawnmower biz, I at least got the knowledge. It was a little tougher, but I had the knowledge to be able to do it. And, but the commissions were like $1,500. If the purchase orders were like $12,000, $14,000, and my commission would be like $1,000.
Dude,
right?
that's a lot for the sale. That's like 10%.
Right.
Going to the salesman.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
But
You still have his number?
Yeah.
But so the next thing I did was, or not next thing, but a couple years into that, I'm like, all right, I need to sell something that's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
Right. And so I Googled, what's the most expensive thing to sell?
You literally?
Literally.
Hey, Google. Hey, Siri. What's the most expensive thing?
And two things popped up:
She answered.
real estate and insurance. And I actually had a few rentals at that point. I had been saving up my money, and I flipped a couple homes, and which that's a beast doing that. But anyways, I was quite over real estate. And so I was like, all right, insurance is the game for me. So the next Google search is, where's the most expensive place to sell insurance? And it was California and New York. And I was over the snow. Yeah. And so Southern California insurance game was for me.
Sounds
and
good.
so I sold everything I had and rented a car, and I had like a backpack and some like loose clothes in the back seat, and drove across the country. And it's
with your son, or he came later?
Yeah, he came later.
Yeah.
Or no, so this was his mom had we had joint custody, but he lived with his mom, and it was a couple hours away from where I was, and so I'm like, well, a couple hour drive or a couple hour flight, same difference, right? So I made it work, and so he still comes out here every break from school, and he'll be out here next week for spring break, and
awesome, man.
He just wants to golf every day.
Yeah,
so that's good. So when I decided that California was the...
Now, did you have any plan about what to do when you got here, or just drove west?
I knew I wanted to get into the insurance game. So
did you have a connection? Did you have an apartment? Did you have anything lined up?
Nope.
No, you knew not a soul.
Not a soul.
Just a tank full of gas.
It's crazy. A tank full of gas, and you stop where the PCH starts.
a janky rental car. And so, and so it might seem crazy to you guys, because everybody out here seems to be a little bit more cultured than the rest of the country. But in the Midwest and other areas of the country, I mean, California seems like a different country, a different world.
Yeah.
And literally, the only thing I knew about California is what I saw on the television shows.
Yeah.
Of Laguna Beach.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one?
The OC.
And the OC.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I'm like, oh, yeah,
That's great.
nothing
Yeah.
but hot chicks and bikinis and surfers and
Yeah.
everything's cool and everybody's rich, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was really heavy into like the motivational speaking at that point, and you know, and I was a big believer in, you know,
Like the Tony Robbins kind of stuff.
yeah,
Maybe not specifically
but
him,
more
but-
so like Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, those type of guys.
Okay.
And you know, I was a big believer in, if you surround yourself with 5 drug dealers, you'll probably be a drug dealer. If you surround yourself with 5 billionaires, you'll probably end up a billionaire. And so I'm like, all right, well, I need to go to the richest area in the world, right?
Yeah.
Orange County, California. And so, again, and all I knew was Laguna Beach and the OC television shows. I'm like, yeah, it seems accurate. So I drove right up into Newport Beach because the OC is about the Newport community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I drove into that, and then I made my way down to Laguna Beach and slept in my rental car, and then it got too expensive to keep, so I had to turn it in. And still didn't have anywhere to stay. Really,
What was the time frame of all this? Like arriving in California is day one, let's just call it, and then like all these.
well, that same
Homeless, like,
I
sleeping
arrived
in the car stuff.
I arrived at night,
Okay.
so I slept in my car in Newport Beach that first night, and then I made my way down to Laguna Beach and parked and walked around and soaked in all the sights and stuff like that. And then I slept in my the biggest challenge every day was finding a parking lot where I could park the rental car.
Right.
Right.
Because they'll kick you out
and
at
sleep. Exactly.
10 p.m. or something like that.
Exactly. So plenty of times where somebody would come knock on my door and they're like, hey, you got to go. So that was the biggest challenge of the day. And that rental car got too expensive after a couple days.
Yeah.
I don't know, that first week. And I was sleeping in the parking lot of a hotel in Laguna Beach, the Seaside Laguna Inn. It's right across the street from Mozambique's.
Okay.
Oh yeah, dude. I think I've stayed there
Really?
at this hotel.
So there was stairs right down to the beach right there. It's like, I don't know, 15 or 20 steps. And so when I had to turn in the car, I just walked down those steps, and there's a little crevice behind the steps and the rocks there. And I slept there for a couple days. And then I was hanging out on the beach or walking down the sidewalk, and I met this guy that was around the hotel, and he was the manager, and he was around my age. And I'm like, look, man, you know, I could really use a bed tonight.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, if we have any vacancies after 11:30, then I'll rent it to you for $20. I'm like, all right, cool. Because with a reservation and everything, it was like $100 a night.
Right.
And no way I could afford that. So I'd have to wait every night, and then I'd go see him at 11:30. And
this wasn't a one-time thing. It was
No.
kind of like an ongoing kind of little offer that you get.
yeah, and it was like off and on. So like there
Some
would
nights
be
it would work.
3 nights in a row, mostly during the week. I could stay there, and then on the weekend it was completely booked.
While these days were happening, were you just staring off into the ocean and like hanging out either, or were you
Yeah.
in enacting your plan to?
Yeah, so I would go to the McDonald's
Okay.
and use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And you know, send my resume to insurance companies. And then after like 3 weeks of that, I landed a job not in the insurance industry. I was slinging DirecTV in a Walmart. You want a hard job? That is tough.
Talk about retail,
Yeah.
dude. That's retail of retail. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
and during the day, the people that go into Walmart,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the grandmothers where Spanish is the first language, and I'm a little white boy, English only, trying to sling DirecTV for $150 a month, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really hard.
Which Walmart was that anyway? What city?
So there were a few of them, but I think I was up here in Brea, and
okay.
I was also in, I don't know, there were a few of them.
Rick lives in Brea. Rick, he could have sold you some.
I walked right by him. I was like, look at that T-shirt over there.
You and most other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
99%
Oh,
everyone
man.
else.
You and most other people. So that was extremely hard.
Dude, that's
Now I'm gonna talk to all those guys.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, give him a
Yeah,
break.
I
Give him a
know.
break.
Buy something.
Look, I'm not gonna buy anything, but
Yeah. So then I was like, man, this is
dude,
really
were
tough.
you getting discouraged at this point, or were you still like, no, dude, I'm here just like this is part of the grind?
I was still motivated
Okay.
at that time, but I knew this was not the permanent solution. I still wanted to get into insurance, so I was all along still sending my stuff in and even interviewing at insurance company or insurance brokerage firms. I interviewed at Marsh and Lockton and Willis and Alliant, and a lot of the big names.
Yeah.
And nobody would give me a shot. So then I got a job with System Pavers, and it was like selling hardscape landscape stuff to homes, which that was a sales machine. So I learned a lot there.
Wow. And you had the construction background, so that was a good fit.
Yeah.
Right?
So that helped. And then I drove Uber.
Okay. What year was this anyway? All this? Do you remember what?
Yeah. So this was 5 years ago.
Okay.
Or 6 years ago. 2015, 16.
Okay. Got it.
And then finally I got a job offer from the Woodage company in Irvine. And so
Doing what for them?
making calls.
Oh,
So yeah, so a broker.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I was a broker. So they brought me in and put me in an empty room and gave me a phone and a phone book, and they said you need to make 300 calls a day. And
So pause right there, dude. Because
that's where Josh was.
okay, cool. Let's pause right there. No, only pause because you're an enigma in this way, because you say that you're a quieter, more introverted kind of style, of your communication. But then 300 calls a day, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, dude, those things are like opposite sides of the world. You know what I mean? How do you square that?
Well, it was, one, I didn't have a choice. I had to do what I had to do.
Okay.
Right. And the phone is a little bit of a safety net to where you're not right in front of somebody. Okay. And I don't know these people. And, worst case scenario, this doesn't work out and I go back slinging DirecTV at a Walmart. Yeah. I've been in worse places. Yeah. So, and I think that's the message that I try to tell my son. And, I have a little brother and my sister. And that if you go through those hard times, making a couple of phone calls to some rich folks, like that's not a big deal. You can handle it. You don't have to like it. But, it was no big deal. Like I said, I was brushing my teeth in the Taco Bell bathroom of Laguna Beach. They only have one Taco Bell. And so I was, I want to go back there and take a picture, but the bathroom was like on the side of the building, and I would go in there and that's where I would have to brush my teeth. And like, that's the low of the low, right? Or living in a single wide trailer that you think's going to blow away, or you got green carpet, that's, making a couple of phone calls in a really nice building in Irvine to some rich folks. Whatever. No problem. Yeah. So,
was it commission only or was it some base?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a base, but it was nothing. And, but yeah, pretty much commission only.
You really got to perform, otherwise, just going to probably get fired or make no money.
Right,
ultimately.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's where Josh was. Josh was
also in the call center.
No. So he was on claims. So he wasn't in sales, and so we would get an account and we bring it in, and then Josh would take care of it right on the claim side. And so I built my book up a little bit, trying to make those 300 calls a day. And eventually I got into a really big opportunity, publicly traded company, 30,000 employees. And that,
you brought that in?
Yeah. And that in itself is a pretty cool story.
That's cool,
but,
dude.
So
Tell it.
So I would show up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I can make calls to the East Coast.
Okay. Got it.
Cause it's 8 o'clock there, right? Yeah. The time difference. And, so I could knock out an additional, 100 calls or so, 50 to 100 calls if I showed up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And so I would call this guy, I probably called him 150 times.
Seriously?
Yeah, never answered. Left voicemails.
What was his role?
So he was the risk manager.
Okay.
At this company, and finally a receptionist answered, and she's like, "You call every day."
Stalker here.
Yeah, do you want me to give you his cell phone number?
Well, let me think about that for a minute.
No, I just want to call back.
That's a big mistake, but yes.
Yes, I do.
So she gave me his cell phone number, and I started texting him and calling him, basically stalking him.
Yo, bro, it's Zack. I'm here on the West. I'm here in Laguna Beach.
And
Taco Bell.
and towards the end, you get kind of loosey goosey with it, like, hey, this is Zack again. It's my daily call, checking in on you. know.
Yeah. How do you do that without being annoying, like pest, like and not?
That was my white whale. So I didn't.
You can't.
Worst case scenario he tells me to
no some more.
Go away.
Yeah.
So he finally answers after probably a total of 200 calls, probably 250 or 300 points of contact, email, text,
completely ignoring you.
Completely ignoring. Never heard from him.
Okay.
And then finally he answers the phone. Okay. And he's like, God damn, you are persistent, motherfucker. Aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Sorry if this is PG, but I'm like, oh, whoa. And I was like a dog chasing a car, I
what do I do now?
Wouldn't know what to do if I caught it. And
that's right.
And so he finally answered, and I'm like, I'm shit, what's my name? This is Zack from the Wooders Company. And he's like, look, I come to California once a month. He lived in Connecticut. And he's like, I'll be there next Friday. Will you meet with me at 6 o'clock?
PM.
Okay.
And
I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll have Girl Scout cookies and, apple juice for you, whatever, milk.
Right.
Oh, man.
And so
California's big, though. You happen to be coming to Orange County, though?
Yeah. So they had a location here, and he would come visit every month. So I hang up, and I am stoked. Yeah. I'm running around the office, crazy excited. So I go to the principals of the firm, and I'm like, hey, I got this. The biggest account this business has ever seen is considering us. Can you meet with him at 6 o'clock on a Friday?
So you're going to bring your boss with you. Okay.
Yeah. And so, but they said no.
What? They can't make it?
No, it was after 5 o'clock.
Forget
on a Friday. Like, can you try to reschedule this for like?
Oh no way, dude! What?
I swear to God,
idiot. Idiot.
So then I go to the person under them, and same answer. And then I go to my mentor, right? Air quotes mentor. That was supposed to go on these sales calls with him. Because keep in mind, at this point, all I know about insurance is that I have it on my car. Like that's it. I don't know anything about workers' compensation or any of that stuff. Like I'm just a guy making phone calls. And trying to charm them to meet with us, and then you bring in your mentor, and then they close the deal.
Got it.
But so the mentor was like, "Well, I leave at 3 o'clock on Fridays," and I'm like, "You do realize this is a $3 billion company, right? Yeah. Willing to meet with little old me." And so finally,
they all turned you down in house.
All of them.
So you went by yourself.
I even went to the CFO. I'm like, dude, you know some stuff about insurance, right? And
somebody's got to come with me.
And he's like, on a Friday? No. So I asked the account manager, and she's like, no, try to reschedule it, blah, blah, blah. And so finally I walk into Josh Diggs' office. And I'm like, Josh, this guy's going to come in at 6 o'clock on a Friday.
Josh's claims though, but he was your buddy.
I'm like, he wasn't really my buddy at that point.
Oh no?
No, I'm like, but work comp stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, that's pretty much all I do. Yeah. I'm like, dude, can you please stick around on Friday at 6 o'clock and meet with this company? And I don't know, but just please help me out, help a brother out.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, man, no problem.
Wow.
I can see him saying that.
Well, here's the thing that he won't tell you is that he had I believe Disneyland with his kids and wife.
No way.
Yes, that he made them.
Father of the year, right there. Father of the year.
Yeah.
He made them
priorities.
Drive. He made them late. He made them drive separate, and then he met them there after our meeting, and that meeting was like an hour and a half long.
Wow.
Where were you guys meeting at?
In our office.
Okay, he's coming.
Yeah, from Irvine.
It's like all teed up, dude.
Yeah. So Josh stayed, and I kind of BS'd my way through the introduction and then kind of shut up and let Josh do his thing.
Yeah.
He's a talker.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah. And in a good way. I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And I say that to him all the time. He's the talker. But yeah, I mean, and Josh killed it. And
I'm sure.
we essentially offered our services for free. We say, hey, we'll work for free for like 6 months
see if you like
until your renewal comes up. And then if we did a good job over the 6 months, then hire us as your broker. And he's like, all right, deal. And so, so 6 months goes by. We're like a month into this work.
Was that a hard sell to come back on Monday and say, all right, here's the deal we pitched
to
your bosses? Yeah.
So here's what they told us. Don't do it during working hours if we're not getting paid.
Okay.
So Josh would come in on weekends He would stay late, show up early,
Work on their
and
stuff.
work on their stuff. So we're like a month into this, and like Josh leaves the office sweating every day, And I go into them and I'm like, hey, I think that if we land this account, Josh deserves commission
Big cut
on
of it.
this. Yeah. Because Josh wasn't getting commission at that time. He was a service person.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, we agree, shake hands and all that, me, Josh, and the principals of the agency. And then,
Gentleman's agreement. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, so you know where this is going.
Oh my
So
gosh.
6 months goes by, we land the account. They move this $3 billion publicly traded company, biggest account that this firm has ever seen.
Wow. Congrats.
And we land it, and commission checks come out, and Josh doesn't get his. And so we go down there and like, hey, what's the deal? Blah, blah, blah. And
management decided,
remember we were standing right here and we all shook hands that he deserves 15% and all that stuff. And they looked at us and said, if it wasn't written down, then it didn't happen.
Wow.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh my gosh.
And so
It's like The Firm. It's like with Tom Cruise, like,
Right.
I don't know. It's just like corrupt corporate.
Yeah.
it was just messed up. I mean, especially
Super
for
messed
like for an Indiana kid
Yeah,
to come
it's
in
like-
here and like, oh my God, like I
You
saw,
hear about this stuff,
I thought
but-
this was California, not New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so, I mean, I immediately went to the bank and took out money from my commission and gave it to him.
Wow.
And I think that situation and that event really bonded Josh and I. And we're like, dude, I got your back no matter what. And this isn't about money to me. So
It's about doing the right thing.
yeah. And so anyway, shortly after that, we left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, we can do this better. In a bunch of different facets of the business,
Right.
we can do this better.
Leaving that account there, obviously, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're still there to this day?
No, they left.
I'm sure.
They left the year after we left.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so yeah, I mean, then Josh and I started Brown and Diggs under the Orion risk management umbrella, and that was good. It's more like an entrepreneur type of situation, and
Kind of like an incubator kind of thing?
yeah,
Like,
kind of like that. And then, but a year later, a big firm out of Chicago came in and was going to buy Orion. And so essentially what we did is it was important for me that we keep our mobility because I'm like, man, we want to start our own thing. And we told Orion this whenever we first came on, like, hey, we're not coming on board unless you're okay with us leaving in 3 years
Yeah.
and starting our own business because that's what we want to do. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. While you're here, we'll make some money. You make some money. All good, man. Like, all right. So a year later, Alara comes in to buy Orion. And essentially what we did is the day before Alara bought Orion is we sold Brown and Diggs to Orion. And when we sold Brown and Diggs to Orion, Orion turned around and sold everything to Alara. And by doing that and adding that buffer and adding that additional transition or transaction, it kind of freed up our clients again.
Right.
Because now we could go chase our clients if we were a new company
Yeah.
because, our non-compete, air quotes,
Expired.
non-compete, and it's with Orion. Orion doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
So that's the way we structured it, and that was strategic. And we told Alara even that, hey, we'll stay.
Plus, in that sale, I imagine there was some
spoils
fancy spoils.
Literature.
and legal language.
Liquidity events that happened for
Yes.
you and Josh. Good.
Yes.
Awesome.
So and
Love it.
And they let us, or they asked us to stick around for at least 2 years, and we said, okay, we'll stick around for 2 years, and then we'll leave. And they also incentivized us to stay. They would, we got to participate in continued purchase. They call it an earnout.
Yep.
So we got to participate in that for 2 years from the outside, not directly with Alara, but
Nice.
with the old Orion company. And so, and then almost 3 years went by, and we spent the last year there trying to find a way to stay. And we had multiple pitches to the board of directors, put together a number of presentations, and trying to find some sort of terms that make sense where we felt like we were
Entrepreneurial still.
entrepreneurial, yet they got to participate in our successes, and we just never really could come to terms. And that's okay. It just they got so big, it's hard to have custom deals for a bunch of people when you're that big of a company. You have to be streamlined and very
Big corporate America doesn't do little carve outs for
Yeah, you have to be
small-
fair.
Yeah, totally. So then that's why it made sense to exit that altogether and start something brand spanking new.
Yep.
Modern
We
Rain.
started Modern Rain. Yep. So that's kind of the timeline. Sorry.
Dude.
Sorry if that took so long, but
That's an amazing
can edit
story.
it.
Yeah.
That whole arc, I'm not editing one word. That's cool, dude. Because I'd always wondered how you came here, how it all kind of got started, and that whole story with Taco Bell and the hotel and Laguna Beach, the stairs, and then Walmart, and then this Connecticut guy and that company, the giant account. Wow,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a movie,
Right.
still being written right now.
Yeah.
But
Pretty impressive for being only 6 years, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this whole
Yeah,
timeline is
totally.
6 years. You would assume that you're like, oh no, yeah, this 35 years later,
Yeah.
no, 6 years.
Right. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of like timelines are not written down, and that was one of my arguments with a lot of my air quotes mentors along this path is that you're not ready. You need to do this for 20 years before you're ready to do this or do that, or your book of business needs to be a certain size for you to be able to do this or do that. And I'm like, can you show me where it says that? And so it's totally been an
well,
advance.
the way it's always been done is
Exactly.
this way.
And at Modern Rain, we always say that we are strategy versus tradition, right? And we try to throw out whatever rule books people refer to,
Right.
or traditions that have put the insurance industry in the place where it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so dusty. It is so dusty.
Right on your website, it's time for a modern reign over insurance, and then the tag phrase, we aren't afraid to break down barriers and innovate your coverage at Modern Rain Insurance Brokers.
Yeah, and it's even more like philosophical than that. I mean, in everything we do. So every member of our team has an entrepreneurial component to their employee agreement.
Huh. Explain.
For example, our marketing person, Sam, out of Vegas.
Oh, I met her at Josh's backyard
so
a couple weeks
so
ago.
we actually purchased her company.
Got it.
But so she gets paid off of recruiting and analytics of our social media. And so we try to throw incentives in there for everybody that they can control a little bit of their own destiny.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want the bills to be paid, but
It aligns incentives in the right direction.
exactly incentivizes growth and not just revenue growth, but like personal growth.
Right.
I mean, so our office manager, Laura, she was at the Woodage company with us, and she was like an assistant to the assistant of the claims assistant or something like that. And now she literally runs our company, really. A lot of
Laura
the back
Kwan.
end stuff. Laura Kwan, she is
Super nice
She's
lady.
a warrior, man.
Really?
Yeah, and it's so cool to see that type of growth with somebody, and the fact that you had anything to do with it is so cool. And yeah, anyways, it's just cool to see people grow, and that is my way of helping people. I think, not obviously we help people through our business, but our clients. But like that's one area I think that Josh and I differ, is that he is big in the community. Like he will gather up a ton of Christmas gifts and go deliver it to the elementary school that he went to, because there's a lot of underprivileged children or kids at that school, and he'll go drop off Christmas gifts. And I did it with him a couple times. And that is a feel-good moment, but I feel like I'm already spread so thin that my way of giving back is to create opportunities for people near me, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
that makes
Create an
sense.
opportunity in our company
yeah.
where you can grow, create an opportunity, for clients or whatever.
Are you guys hiring right now?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, because it says join our team. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I'm going to say join your team. Some info about it. So yeah, if you guys want to head out to modernrain.com, join the team potentially, see what's available on there. Do you know off the top of your head what you're looking for?
Yeah, we're looking for employee benefits producers and PNC producers and account managers for both lines or both sides of the business as well. So, and then soon we're going to be hiring a computer engineer
Wow.
or programmer,
Mm-hmm.
trying to fine tune some of our technology.
Systems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, without spending $1 million on software that some legacy software company or an IT consulting company, maybe have a in-house person who could customize,
Right.
Yeah,
and
streamline you guys.
or just like tie everything together.
Okay,
Right? We
yeah.
we use a lot of programs that are all siloed,
Yeah.
and we need to tie some stuff together. But yeah, everything that we do is entrepreneurial in nature and really tech heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That we're trying to. We're not trying to be a tech company, but we're trying to utilize technology to make things efficient. Right. Like
Right.
I saw you at your event, and we were playing around with Link.
Yep.
That's my daughter's name, but also playing around with Link, the cards,
Yes.
the digital business card. And so yesterday I was communicating with the owner of that business in Arkansas.
You didn't know him? Just hit him up on LinkedIn
I
or
didn't
something?
know. No, his name's Elliot. So shout out to Link, Linq. But yeah, his name's Elliot, super nice guy. And, we're going to try to partner doing some stuff,
Cool.
some events. Maybe they sponsor some things, have some giveaways for those business cards, or that's the mode that everybody's going to exchange information at our events.
Right.
Is using those. So it's just like little stuff like that, our client portal, our digital renewal process, online payments, stuff like that you'd be shocked. That doesn't sound very tech savvy, but in the insurance world, it's like alien.
Right.
Dude, I told Josh this too when he was on our podcast a couple weeks ago. You guys think big. You guys think way outside the box. Those are, kind of trite phrases, but like you guys actually got your fingers in a lot of different pies.
It gets me in trouble sometimes.
No, it doesn't. Does it?
Josh is more detailed actually than I do think large, and it gets me.
What's an example of that? Like
I overlook the details.
Okay.
And that's where I have Josh and the team to make sure that those boxes are checked off, which I think is the role of a air quotes CEO of a company, is that you have to look at the whole picture and not dig into every single detail. It's funny you brought that up. So I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Have you ever read that?
Yeah. Oh, I've heard it. I know of it.
So it's about like 8 kind of non-conventional CEOs, and they said that the biggest role of a CEO is asset allocation, reallocation. Right, so money comes in the door. What are you going to do with that money?
Yeah.
And that was the biggest rift with Josh and I, and everywhere that we've been together, is that we saw the lady in the corner that made more than anybody and did nothing. And we saw the Ferrari on Fridays of the absentee CEO or the company Porsche, and we didn't even have a CRM system to work out of.
Yeah.
Like what name one thing that you have reinvested in us, or to make our, and not just make our job easier, but to help us be more productive or more organized or more efficient, or give us a little advantage or this or that, right? We didn't see any
or
of
that feeling that like you still got skin in this game, and it's not just
exactly. And so we want that to be at the front of our mind, to make sure that asset reallocation is entrepreneurial focused, technology based, and focus on the employees. Because it's not about how much money me and Josh take home. Like if we took home $1 million this year, that's nothing to me. It's not going to change my lifestyle. It's not going to allow me to retire forever. Right. So it's not about that. It has to be bigger. Yeah. And I think that the more successful we are, the more we can do, and the more people we can help, and the more people we help, the byproduct of that is more money.
Along the way, you got married.
I did.
You met her here in California?
Yeah. So my beautiful wife Giselle, who's a trooper, puts up with me every day. I don't know how.
How long have you guys been married?
Been married for, I knew you were going to ask me that. 3 years? 2 years? 3 years.
That's pretty good.
3 years.
3 years.
Dang it.
We can cut that.
You can edit that.
How long have you guys been married?
Going on 3 years now.
There you go.
Very definitive answer. Very good.
Take two.
Take two. I asked Josh some side questions. I was going to call him, but he's taking some personal time off this week. Authorized, I'm sure.
Authorized. Yeah.
Totally authorized. But I asked him some questions about you, just to see how well he knows you, okay?
Yeah.
And see what his answers were. And you got to let me know if he's right.
Okay.
So here's the first question.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
Or how about you ask, and he answers.
Yeah, let me answer and see.
I will.
Okay. And then see what.
So I asked him, what is Zach's favorite movie?
Oh gosh, I bet he said Talladega Nights.
That's a good one.
No, he didn't say that.
Did he say Troy?
No.
Oh.
He gave me 3 of them.
They're probably all comedy. He's like, oh yeah, he always tells the jokes from like Dumb and Dumber, Talladega Nights, or Step Brothers.
Oh, that would have been
Step
good.
Brothers.
Step Brothers. No, he said Highlander.
Oh yes, Highlander. There can only be one.
Really? Okay.
I like Highlander.
He
yeah.
said Sandlot.
Sandlot is good. Yeah, this is different categories. I'm a big movie guy.
He said any baseball movie.
Yes.
And Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers. Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
he was
So
gonna
he
go
knows you.
comedy.
Okay, he
Yeah.
knows you. He knows you.
Yeah,
All right.
but it's definitely like I like the business category. I
Yeah.
like Wolf of Wall Street and
Oh yeah. Rounders.
Yep, and even Highlander. I know it's not a business movie, but it's more a mindset
Yeah.
type movie. There can only be one.
Right. Totally.
And yeah, man, I love the movies that make you
Big
think.
Short?
And oh yeah,
Big
that's
Short's
great. I've
awesome.
seen it probably 50
So
times.
good, I know.
I've seen it probably 50 times.
So good.
I love it.
I asked Josh, what is Zach's least favorite food?
Oh man,
What is it?
mayonnaise?
he didn't say that.
Oh,
Like-
guacamole.
No.
You don't like guacamole?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, man.
Or mayonnaise.
Sorry.
I know.
Sorry,
my wife is Mexican. And
Yeah.
I hate guacamole.
Oh my
I have
gosh.
to,
Man,
divorce you now.
My
Yeah.
least favorite.
least favorite food, like a type of food, not just a specific
Oh.
ingredient.
Like hot
let's
dog,
say.
hamburger.
Because that's the answer he gave. It was a type of, hey, you want to go out for tonight?
Sushi.
Sushi. Yes, that's what he said.
Yep.
Why do you hate sushi so bad, man? What's
Yeah,
wrong?
whoa, what is sushi?
Why'd you move to California?
I like my food cooked. I'm weird like
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't have that in Indiana probably as
Yeah,
much.
I think you people are weird.
Yeah.
I would agree. 100%.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and the sushi in Indiana is not top tier.
It's not gonna,
No.
Don't go there.
It's
It's like
deer.
It'll be a
yeah, like a bluegill or
Yeah.
bass.
it'll be a sushi shop on one side, and the other side of the building is a bait shop. You know, it's the
Exactly.
same product.
Exactly.
Catfish.
Exactly. Yeah.
I asked Josh when Zach first arrived in Southern California, what beach did he sleep on? And
He probably said Newport or Laguna.
he said Laguna.
Laguna. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's right.
Yeah.
And now we know too. Spoiler. All right, last one was, what was the name of Zach's high school?
Oh, Decatur Central.
He said something else. He said Canby High.
Oh, that was the town that I lived in, Canby, but the
Okay.
the township was Decatur Township.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't know you at all.
It's crazy
Yep.
how
he
he knows
needs to
this.
study up.
Yeah.
No, he knows a lot.
Yeah.
Decatur Central. Yeah. Man. We were the smallest big school in Indiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
And-
cool.
But yeah, we had a ton of people like bus in from different areas
Yeah.
of the city. So, I mean, our little town only had a few thousand people in it or whatever.
Right.
Wow.
Do you ever go back home? If you call it home?
So my dad lives in Florida now.
Okay.
He works on the railroad.
Still working?
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. Well, my parents were really young when they
Yeah.
had me, so I think they were 20.
So he's in his 50s then, right?
Yeah, so he's
he's-
52 or 53, yeah. But yeah, he works on the railroad. My mom is still in Indiana, different town, but
Yeah.
yeah, Indiana. So yeah, I go back. I've been back for Christmas a handful of times.
Yeah. That hunting picture with that deer in the garage, how long ago was that from?
It was like 5 years ago.
Okay, before you even...
Yeah,
well,
it was. I think I went back.
Yeah.
After a year of being here, 2 years.
Have you taken Giselle back there? Back home?
Yes.
What'd she think?
She does not operate well.
Does not want to go back again. Does not want to ever go back.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we took our daughter Link to
Yeah.
Indy this past year, and
Yeah.
it was good. I was glad that she got to go see Grandma. And
That's so cool. My only experience in the Midwest has been St. Louis. Would you consider that Midwest?
yeah, but it's also a big city. So
okay.
I mean, like, so I went to school in Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and when you hear Illinois, you think Chicago, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Where I was not Chicago.
No.
It was. I mean,
Farms.
just fields as far as the eye could see.
right.
Oh, wow.
Flat as an iron, and fields as far as you could see. I mean, acres and acres and acres and acres between homes.
Wow.
or between trailers. And it was not Chicago. It was the
Boonies.
yeah.
What are they farming out there?
backwoods. Anything corn mostly.
Yeah.
Corn.
Yeah, but yeah, it was not Chicago. So I mean that's really the Midwest, and that makes up a large population of our country are folks that live in those kind of towns.
Yeah.
You can't even see your neighbor, let alone touch their home.
Right.
You know, now I could walk between my house and my neighbor and touch both houses.
Yeah.
Your graduating class from high school, do they know what's up with you? Like, do you have friends that like are following you and like maybe through Facebook or whatever now, like following your path?
You know, it's something that I'm not crazy proud of, but when I did leave, I left.
You flipped them all the big bird and I was like,
No, it wasn't out of malice. It wasn't.
it's just like, I'm out of here.
I just knew if I wanted something different, I needed to do something different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I
Hang out with
honestly,
five drug dealers and you be a drug dealer.
I haven't communicated with anybody from high school in the last 10 years.
Dude, don't feel bad about that. I graduated and I didn't think about those people for 30 more years.
Yeah,
but then on my 30th anniversary class reunion, because I'm really old, I went and it was so fun.
Yeah.
I needed a 30-year gap before I could think about them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had some really, really good friends. I mean, we grew up, from the age of 5,
Yeah.
we were thrown on, the sports teams together.
Right.
And we were together, that same group, all the way through high school. And we were really good because we knew each other like the back of our hands, know. So I had really good friends and they were really good people. It was just, I wanted something different and I never felt like I really fit in. And so I had to... I not cut ties. It sounds bad, but I just didn't communicate. Didn't go back. I left and never looked back.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Well, it's not too late too. I mean, it's always, you can always move back there and stuff if things don't work out.
yeah. And I'm not very big on social media. Like I think I have a Facebook, but like.
Are you on Instagram?
No.
I was looking for you today. I'm like,
Couldn't find him.
He blocked you.
I found everyone else at Modern Rain.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I don't do Facebook or Instagram. Like I'll do LinkedIn because it's a professional environment and stuff. And I have like 20,000 people or something.
Dang,
wow.
Follow me on
dude.
there,
But I'm with
so.
you, dude. I'm only on those places because I have to. And Rick will tell you. I don't post anything really personal, and I don't like following you, but I don't even like his kids. I mean, I love his kids.
He doesn't.
You know what I mean?
Zero.
I don't
Zero
click
likes.
like on anybody's kids
Yeah.
because I'm a jerk. Basically,
It hurts my feelings.
Yeah, just something about it makes me feel a little weird.
I just don't do it either. Dude.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy Twitter though.
You're on Twitter though?
Like I'm not active in posting stuff
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I don't even know if I have any followers, but
You're just listening on the conversations.
oh my God, people are so quick and clever and funny.
Yeah.
Twitter is my entertainment in the evenings. I'll like the whole Will Smith thing, last week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, dude. Were you watching it live when that happened?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
I had to rewind.
Well,
why did the TV go all blank? I mean, the sound go off.
Yeah, I typically don't watch things like that. My wife was watching.
It was on.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, instantly we're like, oh my God, we got to check out Twitter.
It's crazy,
People are so fast
Yeah.
and funny and clever on Twitter. It's hilarious.
When you realized it wasn't a punch but a slap, did that change your opinion about like
So I knew it was a slap.
how?
I don't know.
'Cause
I just never considered it to be a punch.
From the first angle,
If it was a punch, he would have went down.
Yeah.
So, and I knew it was real because they muted it.
They did mute it.
And then I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw him mouth. What he was yelling at Chris Rock.
Yeah.
But that,
Totally.
and I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I mean,
It's pretty crazy.
It was extremely unprofessional, and you're a public figure. You got to be able to handle stuff like that. But I also understand people are human, and his wife is going through something, and they got kind of a weird relationship, anyways.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
And so, and you know what? Bravo to Chris Rock. 1, for taking it, and then 2, if you rewatch it, the unmuted version, I think it came from like Japan or something like that. But if you watch it, he's like, man, I could, you know what? Never mind. And he stops himself, and
He could go off on the whole situation.
He could have did
the absurdity of it.
He could have did a whole bit about.
Now you're going to defend your wife?
About about Will Smith Will Smith's wife sleeping with
All that stuff.
sleeping with
Yeah,
rappers, all that stuff, right? He could have threw their laundry
totally,
out,
dude, totally.
which she does anyways. But I mean, he could have did a whole
He was
bit
so
about
classy.
it.
Yeah, he was so classy about it.
Yeah.
People
So-
say, "Oh, it's fake, dude." There's no way that's fake. There's no way
No.
that was staged.
and it was disappointing more than anything for me. I sound like my dad growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I do something bad. He's like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, dude, just hit me.
And Will
Just hit me and get it
Yeah,
over
I
with.
know, I
you
know.
know?
Because before that, what'd you think about Will Smith? You read his documentary, his biography and all that.
I don't
right?
put people on pedestals, especially that
Celebrities.
that crowd. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Will Smith was one of those people that I was heavily into listening to his messages, and
Wow.
it was just disappointing. You know, somebody that kind of
Yeah, totally.
idolized, but listened to at least
For sure. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And him do something like that, he had a pristine career other than his wife.
True.
And that's
30
what he's
seconds
going to be
before
known
that,
for.
Everyone loved him. 30
Yeah.
seconds before that.
Well,
The whole
Yeah.
world.
and not many people can say this, but only one movie he ever did was not good. And it was the one he did with his son where they were in space or something.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
But I can dismiss that because he did it with his son. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what a dream.
Bring your kid to work
Yeah.
day.
What a dream to do something with your son. Like
Yeah.
next week, my son just wants to golf every day. Like I can die a happy man
Yeah,
after
yeah,
100 holes of golf
Yeah.
with my son.
That's so cool,
Right.
dude.
Right. And not many people can say that about their acting career. You know, Denzel Washington, maybe another one, never played in a bad movie. But this is what he's going to be known for, and that's
There'll always be that asterisk.
disappointing.
That's on his record,
and you know, immediately I'm like, all right, well, how can I relate this to my life?
Yeah.
You know, it takes a long time to build up a good reputation. I feel like we've done that.
Yeah.
And with Modern Rain, with Josh, myself, and you know, our team and everything.
Yep.
And you can lose it.
1 second.
And one split, emotional,
I know.
irresponsible decision
Yep.
that you know is wrong, but you do it anyways because your emotions take over, and
Totally.
it could totally ruin a whole portfolio of work and years and decades.
Oh
and,
yeah. Totally tainted from then on.
Yeah.
You know how hard that guy worked? I mean,
Decades.
he worked so hard at perfecting his craft, and he may have ruined it. I hope he didn't, but he definitely has a black mark has red on his ledger now.
Super good reminder that
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it can all be wrecked in a moment of haste or of ill decision, you know, and selfishness and whatever reasons or whatever else was going on inside of him or inside of me, you know, to guard your tongue and take a deep breath. Don't send that email. Wait till tomorrow. Sleep on it. Those kind of
Right.
things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are there for a reason. There's like girder rails around your life and being humble, trying to be humble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see you as a humble guy. Do you feel that?
I think I just don't talk very much, so it comes across as humble. I think I'm confident in what I do, and I know what I'm not good at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just shy away what I'm not good at and
Yeah.
stick to what I am.
Dude, you've been super generous with your time and words. It went fast, huh? We're not done. Unless you got a time frame here.
So my
Gotta get out of here, but
my
He has
15
notes.
my 15 pages of notes.
all right, we're on page 1. Let's go. All right, page 2. Let's flip the What else is on there that you had thought you'd want to bring up that maybe we didn't touch on yet? Talked about the chew. Talked about the
I guess nothing really. I mean, you know, we have a lot going on at Modern Rain, and we're about to roll out a couple of.
Are they secret, or can you spill the beans today?
Sure, I can spill the beans.
Okay.
So one is a health management plan, which I think you know about.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
probably reached out to you about because
Yes, he did.
clients kind of were on our first round of notifications. But
What's the gist of that? The 30,000 foot level.
so this is a health management plan that sits in front of your current major medical plan. So it's in addition to it. Doesn't change anything that you currently have in place. It's an extra plan. And it's structured in a way to where it doesn't cost you anything. You're never out any money. Your employees are never out any money. As a matter of fact, your employees take home more money because you're using pre-tax dollars. So their take-home check goes up a little bit. And when I say a little bit, like $100, $150. You know, if you work at a restaurant or something like that, that's a big deal. Especially gas prices now, right?
Sure. Right. Yeah.
And then on the employer side, you save on taxes because that pre-tax money is taken out of wages, so you don't have to pay FICA tax. And any surplus at the end of the year that's put into this fund goes back to the employer. So, I mean, the employer ends up making about $1,000 an employee. So you got 1,000 employees, you make $1 million. And that $1 million represents a lot more in revenue. $1 million in profit represents, $4 or $5 million in revenue. And if I went to anybody and said, hey, I got $5 million worth of business to give you, interested? They'd be like, yep.
Oh, yeah,
right.
totally.
So then, okay, then you'd be interested in this $1 million in profit.
Right.
Same thing, but without the work. So that's what we're rolling out, and it's an opportunity for Modern Rain to to make a lot of money as well. And this is why, and I'm not ashamed to say this, but typically I go in and I sell a work comp policy. Now, all the elements that are associated with that is that it's going to cost you money, right? It's going to cost our client money.
Yep.
And our job is to minimize the damage.
Yeah.
Not necessarily add value or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's just to minimize the damage.
Make my bill smaller, please. That's what I want, right?
Instead of paying $1,000, you're going to pay $900, but you still have to pay $900.
Yeah.
With this product, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just a matter of how much you're going to make, and we're taking from the positive and not minimizing the negative. And so I feel really, really, really great about the product. I mean, it's so cool, and we're the only broker in California that can offer this. And so it's pretty exclusive to us. And so, which came through a lot of hard work and networking and reaching out to people and structuring. And we've been dealing with this for the last couple of months, trying to perfect our platform and, building the website and all that stuff. So,
nice. Congrats.
Yeah.
It's ready to roll out.
Yeah. It's called Shield. So you can go to shieldhmp.com.
Okay.
And that's the website, but, and learn a little bit more about it. But it's an absolute no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer.
Wow.
If I ever came across something.
Really?
Absolute no-brainer. So in 3 to 5 years, it's going to be very mainstream or illegal.
Yeah.
Right. That too good.
Wait.
Too good to be true.
Oh, okay.
And so
a Ponzi or not a Ponzi?
No. So you're using pre-tax dollars to fund it, much like a flexible spending account, right?
Yeah.
If you think back when 401ks were introduced, like that was. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I can use pre-tax money to do this, and Uncle Sam's not getting his cut, and stuff like that, right? And so I think that we're in that realm right now. The introduction of 401k, this is how this is.
Okay.
It's an absolute no-brainer.
Right.
And it's just good all the way around. We're promoting healthier workforce, promoting healthy behavior with your employees, and they win, you win, and we're able to win from it. So no-brainer.
I love it, dude. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm super excited. I mean, it's almost to the point to where we may not write another policy for the next couple of years, and we just focus on this.
Really?
I feel much better selling this than I do a work comp policy.
Well, don't cancel my work comp policy.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Not just yet.
Of course not. No, just additional policy. We're not going to chase new work comp carrier or work comp clients when we have this, and this is real value, not a necessary evil.
Yeah.
So
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So I feel really good about that, and then we have we're working on a new distribution model. Typically or traditionally, all right, we're strategy versus tradition, but the tradition of the insurance industry is that you hire people to make phone calls.
Right.
They make phone calls, send out the annoying emails, network or whatever, right? And outside of the insurance industry, there are many, many other types of distribution models. And one that I kind of geeked out on before I had moved out here was the affiliate marketing.
Okay.
Right. So if you ever watch something on YouTube and somebody says,
MLM,
hey,
that's a pyramid scheme.
Or they just say,
networking marketing.
They say, I'm going to, this is a video about Iron Man.
Yeah.
But first, my new office chair, the X chair.
Okay. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'll put the link in the comments below and just use the code Iron Man, and you get a 20%
You'll
discount.
support the show by doing that.
So by them clicking on that unique link, typing in Iron Man or whatever in the code, the host of that YouTube channel gets a commission.
Yeah. Right. Got it.
Right. So it's a, kind of a side hustle type sponsor, easy way to, get marketing. Even if nobody buys that X chair off his channel, 1 million people know about the X chair now.
Yeah. Right.
So we're going to take a little bit of that model with our service-based business. So we already set up our dashboard and a way for people to sign up. And it's going to be very semi-exclusive, right? We're not going to shotgun it out to the whole country. Anybody can go sell Modern Rain stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a referral program.
Like,
all you have to do is
Click Junction or one of those guys.
We use a Lead Dino.
Okay.
So, and I actually learned about this from Link.
Really?
Link uses this distribution model.
Okay.
And
Makes sense.
And so it's funny how dominoes fall, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be pretty exclusive to who can do this, but all you need to do is refer people. Hey, click on this link. It'll send them to that Shield website.
Give me the link, dude. After this podcast, I'm going to put the link on. I'll sign up as your first affiliate.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, all they have to do is fill out the form.
Yeah.
Type in Rick Castro.
Yeah. You get the referral.
Right.
And so you have your own link. You can have your own link, and it has all of the analytics on there. How many people have went through your links and
signed up. Get my cut at the end of the 30 days, whatever.
Exactly.
Cool.
So, I mean, it's 20% commission.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. And on this Shield program, for example, I mean, we make $20 per employee per month. So, somebody has 1,000 employees. That's what? 20,000 a month. You get 20% of that. So you'd make $4,000 a month just from that one account. And the employer wins, the employees win.
So they're going to stick around forever.
Yeah. So you get 20% for the first year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I
see all these ideas.
That's all I'm going to do from now on.
And I mean, and that's the kind of, I hate out of the box. I hate that saying, but that's the type of outsider knowledge and approach that we're trying to implement into the insurance industry. Of course, it's not tradition. It'll probably be frowned upon and probably hated on, and probably people are going to talk shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
But in the real world, outside of the insurance industry, this is a very common practice. Every podcast you listen to, every
100%. 100%.
YouTube that you watch, and this is a very well-known and established distribution model. But the insurance industry is so dusty that they are scared of regulators, or these people aren't licensed or whatever. But it doesn't matter. They're not selling insurance. They're just referring people so we can sell insurance.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just those type of understandings of the guardrails and the rules.
Yep.
Where we can implement things that other industries are doing, and we
makes sense,
not.
dude. That modern is one of the words of your name.
Yeah,
Modern
exactly.
Rain, right? Come on, modernize things.
Yeah, I mean, and Modern Rain, it's just a new. It's a time for new leadership.
Yeah.
With new ideas. A Modern Rain over
the
insurance.
You had mentioned haters. You know what I mean, and like without names, of course. I mean, offline.
Off the record.
But like that is all fear based, you know what I mean? They see these new guys, this Ben Affleck and Matt Damon lookalikes coming to the industry. With all
I get Brad Pitt a lot. So. What's the
Michael
guy?
Bublé is the one
Who's the guy that plays Bane in Batman?
Oh, that's
Tom Hardy. I get Tom Hardy.
Okay.
A lot.
All right, I can see it. Totally, I can see it. But back to the industry, it's fear based when they see these young bucks coming up and all these new fresh ideas that are upsetting the apple cart.
Yeah. I mean, we don't take a competitive approach with our competitors. As I see them all as future partners or future employees, or
totally.
There's just so much business right here in our backyard.
I know.
There is no
100%.
reason to burn any bridges or anything. I mean,
100%.
even people I've worked for in the past. I mean, I don't hold those grudges. So yeah, there might be an opportunity
wish them well.
down
It just
the
didn't
road.
work out.
Yeah,
despite the quality of the two parties, it didn't work out. That's what I say.
Exactly. Yeah. So
like when I see your sister Haley, who is at one of our competitors, Platinum, it's a great service. Haley's been great. She's so nice and professional all the time, and I know her, from conferences and the industry in general. I mean, I think we have a great conversation. You know what I mean? Because I'm not at all like, I don't know, like kind of like weird around competitors. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other competitors, not her, are weird around me sometimes. You know what I mean? But I think that's just also fear based.
Yeah. No, she speaks really highly of you, and I've tried to instill that in her and my little brother and son and the team. Just there's no need for it. There's so much business right here in our backyard.
Was Haley also from Indiana, the same town? Yeah.
Yeah. So after
when did you guys meet? I'm just kidding. No. When when did she come here to California?
She came out a little over a year after I did.
Okay, she saw you like succeeding at that Walmart and saw I can get some of that.
Yeah, well, I pushed her, and the company that she was working for had a location right next to the apartment I was eventually renting. Okay. And so she transferred to that office. Yeah. And she was very introvert-ish, whatever. But and so somebody came out of her shell as her, and she's a freaking rock star now.
Good
oh my
her.
gosh,
Oh, yeah, totally
I'm so freaking proud of my sister. She's
did she work the room in a in the Midwestern kind of way and in her own natural way? It's like doesn't seem like working the room, but she totally is working the room. You know what I mean?
But
doing her thing.
Haley 5 years ago would not even go in the room.
Wow.
And so
that's cool to see that, right?
Oh my, yeah. And she was really on the service side of things, and now she's in sales, and sales has worked wonders for her. She could do anything that she wanted. Anything she wants, she could go do.
It's cool.
Now that she has that experience.
Super proud.
Even if she went back to Indiana, she is so much better off for coming out here for a few years.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because that was kind of the thought whenever she came out here. Well, how long before she goes back? And she just stuck to her guns, and she's blossomed into this beautiful, funny, tremendous young lady. So
that's super cool.
I'm super proud of her.
I totally have her on this podcast. I know maybe that's probably stupid because they're a competitor. She works at.
We're not disclosing trade secrets.
I don't even think
here.
like that. I mean, there's nothing there's no secret sauce that's going to leak out. It was just get to know a cool person with a cool, interesting story like her brother.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. No, I think you should have. Try to change it up and vary it up, and
totally.
Get different angles and perspectives, and peeks
100%.
behind different curtains, and
because I'm learning a lot from every guest we ever have. I'm like, whoa, like, dude, get inspired, you learn, and
So I mean, that's why I listen to all your stuff, and I mean, Joe Rogan, for example. I mean, that guy does it right. He has just a wide variety of people on his podcast, and you can tell he's incredibly smart because of his podcast.
Oh yeah,
it's not all the books that he read or the schooling that he had. It's the real.
There's no school. There's no books. It's all just conversation.
Real life conversations.
Real life osmosis from from people.
I think that's so cool, man.
I know.
So I'm definitely envious of you guys that you get to do this. And after Josh was on here, he was like, "Hey man, should we do a podcast?"
I've been telling you guys to do one. And I told him to do one for the last 2 years because you guys would kill it.
Yeah. It's just, man.
I mean, it's just one extra thing to do, of course.
It is. And if I do anything, I want to do it 100%. And, just starting a company and having a 2-year-old daughter and
100%.
Just all these new responsibilities and stressors, is it a wise decision? What does the return look like? Stuff like that is really the calculation that we need to sit down and go through and see if it's worth it. But I'm definitely envious of you guys. This is so cool, man. This is a dream job, really. If you could make this into a full-time gig, hell yeah.
Well, for us, dude, we do it as a way of adding value back to the industry as a platform. You know what I mean? Because it has opened up doors for us that we wouldn't have been able to open up otherwise.
Right.
Because if people are hitting up these white whale kind of people all day long, it's easy to ignore, right? But if you have like a different angle, like, hey, come on my podcast,
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's like, whoa, let's talk about you all day.
Yeah, it's definitely a useful tool.
It's totally.
Well, tell me about you guys. What's
not much to say. I'll have to come on your podcast for what about you guys?
Yeah, well, you just had this event.
Yeah. We had an event
last week.
Yeah,
right?
dude, thanks for coming out to that. What was give me your honest opinion about what improvements? What did we miss? What did you like about that event? It was for anybody not there. It was our leaning towards resolution conference, our first one. We partnered with Charlie Camarino from Corvell. It's her baby, her brainchild, the whole thing. But we hosted it at a hotel, and we had about 80 to 100 people there, and kind of threw it together in the last few weeks. But it was a pretty cool event. What was your thought?
Yeah, no, it was really great. It was very specific. Mm-hmm. So the crowd that was there, I'm sure, got a lot out of it. Like Josh came back and was like, "Man, that was really great," and I got a lot out of that. Mm-hmm. Me, I don't get in the weeds. So as far as
it was about leans, I mean, you would.
Yeah, I never get into leans.
Me neither.
I just know that you owe somebody money. Like that's what a lien is, right?
Yeah.
So, I just don't get down in the weeds to that level,
Right.
but it seemed like there was a lot of interaction with the crowd and a lot of questions and a lot of comments. And, you can can tell that it resonated with the folks' everyday work life, And so that's really good. I think that's the only component that you need to worry about is, can people relate real life situations with what they're talking about? If it's just somebody up there giving a speech about, surgery or something, like, all right, well, I've never had surgery. Like, I don't care about this.
Yeah, exactly right.
But,
exactly right.
you just have to have the content that people can relate to.
Yeah. It was an experiment for us. I know next to nothing, even after attending my own conference about liens, but it doesn't even matter because the people who I do care about
Exactly.
were in that room and they care about it. So I put this whole thing on at great expense and I don't want to, play the violins or something because we love doing it. But these are loss leader events for us. We're not in the education business. We're in the deposition business. That's how we feed our families, right?
But osmosis, right? I mean, being around those folks. I mean, those folks need you guys.
And
right?
giving them value and expecting nothing in return except them have a great time and a high five. Boom.
Right.
All the rest handles itself later.
Yeah. And I think that's, going back to the real life situation point is that overflows in a lot of what we do. Just like what would you want your broker to do, right? Like real talk. What would you want your broker to do? Would you want him to answer the phone or not? Like it's not written down in a book anywhere, but real life, would you want him to answer your phone?
100%.
But also even with this Shield program that, that we're rolling out, we open up, not that it's scripted, but we open up with a real life example. And that example is me, that I had scratched my eye last year and it was all red and stuff, and I was trying to find this telemedicine phone number. Yeah. Because I was just going to call the doctor on my phone. And I think my Blue Shield plan had offered something about that. I remember hearing it during open enrollment. And so I'm trying to find this number. I call my HR lady. She can't find it. And I'm like, just don't worry about it. I'll just drive down to urgent care dangerously.
One eye open.
Exactly. So I drive down to urgent care and I get there, give them my insurance card. They're like, all right, that'll be $100. I'm like, okay. There's $100 for the urgent care visit.
Copay is pretty expensive.
So it wasn't a copay, the office visit.
Oh.
And so I had to pay the office visit and then wait an hour.
Of course.
Scratched eye. And empty waiting room.
Yeah.
Nobody was there. I'm like, what's this doctor doing? He's probably back there on telemedicine.
Yeah.
So I finally go and walk or meet the doctor and he's like, yep. You scratch your eye. I'm like,
That'll be $100, please. Another.
Thank you for using all of your Harvard education on that.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you need some medicated eye drops. I'm like, all right, makes sense. So I leave and he's like, go to CVS at 7:00 tonight and pick them up. I'm like, all right. So I go home and dangerously drive back to CVS and pick up these eye drops. And the pharmacy's like, well, that'll be $20. I'm like, okay. So I'm $120 more poorer.
Yeah.
Right. The day. And it kind of took up my day, the whole situation. Yeah. So with this Shield plan, telemedicine is on the app that you have to be in every month. You have to watch a 3-minute video every month.
Oh, I see.
Right? Because you're promoting healthy behavior for your employees. Read an
article.
article.
Like tips and tricks about...
It's Mayo Clinic material. So it's either an article or a video about how to quit smoking or healthier diet or exercise or whatever.
Yeah.
And so anyways, you click on the app, click telemedicine. Doctor calls you back and, yep, you got a scratch on your eye. Go get some medicated drops at CVS. I'm like, all right. So I hang up. It costs you nothing. It's free.
That was free.
And then I go pick up my medication. Free.
And no waiting?
No copay. No waiting.
Oh, wow.
No waiting. No copay. And the doctor was free.
Wow.
If I had went into the urgent care, still free.
Yeah.
You give them our card. Free. No brainer.
Wow.
No brainer. But
pretty cool.
But everybody can relate to that story.
Yeah.
Waiting in the urgent care office or primary care office or copay for a prescription or paying that office visit fee. Right? Everybody can relate to that. It's real world example.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about the highlights of the product. I'm not talking about how this is great. I'm saying, hey, this is what I experienced and this is how this would have helped that experience.
Right.
Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, of course.
So you haven't had to use it yet, but you have it. Obviously, you have it.
Yeah, so our company has it. Our implementation is next Tuesday.
Okay.
So that's when everybody, you just download an app.
Yeah.
And you take a quick health assessment. You say, hey, I chew tobacco or I smoke cigarettes or I don't have a healthy diet. And that's the kind of content that you get every month.
Got it.
So
All right. Well, I'll have to check out the email that is sitting right here.
it's a no-brainer, man. No-brainer. The caveats are owners can't participate.
Okay. That sucks.
Per the
For me.
IRS. Per the IRS.
Okay.
So it falls under IRS code section 125, which
Then-
is like a flexible
So then
spending
you can't
account.
participate. You yourself?
I cannot participate,
Okay. Or Josh.
or Josh.
Okay.
Yeah, but our employees can.
Cool.
So,
Me,
that
me and you
and-
will be in that waiting room, waiting around for our medicine and our
That's right. Well, actually, so we can participate, but we would have to pay for the plan.
Okay.
So we can't use pre-tax dollars to pay
Okay,
for
gotcha.
it. So,
You can still benefit of the actual service
Yeah.
if you want.
yep. So,
Cool.
So yeah, man, it's just really exciting because it's new and different out of the box.
Yeah.
And true value. True value.
I see
to
it.
the purest sense of the word, true
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
And very rarely do you get that. Usually I'm in here asking you for money, not in here
Saving
trying to
money.
give you money. Right. And so
I like this new you.
yeah, exactly.
And I like all the swag too. You guys got amazing
Yeah, they do.
artwork. Like your logo is awesome. The name is cool. And then everything I see is like super classy. Like he's got, I'll take pictures. Well, I already did, but we'll take some more. Modern rain hat, modern rain like sweat jacket, hoodie.
Yeah.
Is that a sweatshirt? Is that
I'm redoing my whole
t-shirt? It's all modernized.
Yeah.
You got to, dude.
All my apparel. So yeah, I think that, and this is also something new,
Mm-hmm.
at least compared to what we have experienced in the past, is that if I am going to spend money, that's what I want to spend money on.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to be proud of where they work or
Yeah.
who their broker is. I mean, which sounds kind of funny. Like, who's proud of who their broker is, right? I mean, my dad's insurance guy, he saw him once a year.
Yeah, that's typical.
Yeah, and so we don't want to be that.
Yeah.
So maybe we're still trying to chase who we want to be.
I
but
definitely came from
we don't
old
wanna be
school
that.
to now modern school
Yeah.
with you guys, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
So anybody listen to this, I mean, Zach's my friend. But also they have an awesome service, awesome company.
It doesn't have to be boring. Insurance does not have to be boring.
Yeah,
That's the
dude.
traditional way for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
traditionally,
You and
this is
Josh are not boring.
And
No.
but it also makes it challenging that we do have that stigma of being boring, and we don't have a graduating class kicking down the door to get into the insurance industry every year.
Yeah.
And I mean, even me, I'm a weirdo that I fought my way into this industry. I wanted to be in this, and which makes me appreciate
Hey
it.
Siri, how do you make a lot of money? Insurance? And where can you do it? California? Okay. I'm heading to California. Oh, shut up. Check it out. 12 ways to make big money in life. Insurance.
Affiliate marketing.
Probably. Proven ways to make money fast. Entrepreneur. 14 ways. Penny hoarder. All right. Dude,
Yeah.
what else do you want to let everybody in on the secret world? You've been super generous with your time. See, I told you it would be easy, dude. You really had all these notes, and you said you were kind of like not looking forward to it.
So when I was in high school, my baseball coach told me that if you get butterflies, that's just your body getting ready to compete.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. I guess I just wanted to do better than Josh. So.
When we've gone like way longer than Josh, I think too, and he's supposedly,
I win?
You super win.
Yeah.
He's supposedly the talker.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't want to end up on like a top 10 worst podcast moments of YouTube. You know?
No.
Far from it. Well, I when I publicly speak, like last Friday when I had to get up there and get on the mic, I get butterflies too. You know, so in years past, I joined.
You were great, by the way, and funny.
Yeah.
I forget what you said, but I remember laughing out loud. LOL.
I was telling my story a little bit with the long hair and the spandex pants and all that stuff.
And it was so flawless. Like you must have practiced that in front of the mirror 100 times.
I've said it a couple times.
That was so funny.
I got to get a new story. I got to get a new life, and I'll tell new stories. No, but public speaking has never been my favorite thing, you know. So a few years back, I went to Toastmasters.
Yeah.
In order to get practice doing it, you know. And one of the things they said, jumping off of your butterfly thing, was that like you're going to have the butterflies either way, but with some practice, you can get those butterflies to fly in formation at least
Right.
and be
Channel
organized.
them.
Stem. And you can get used to it. So
Yeah.
it helped me.
Yeah, and reps, you know. So
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever read Total Recall by
No.
it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's biography, and anyways, it's about his life, and he says that, which Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the way, oh my gosh, what a
inspiring story, right?
Oh my gosh! So this guy came to the United States, didn't speak a leak. Oh, God, I can't even
else.
speak. I can't
Yeah.
even speak a lick of English. But he came over and he wanted to get into bodybuilding, and he became Mr. Universe.
I know.
A number of times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then he wanted to get into acting. You know,
Right.
didn't even speak English. They didn't want to hire him for.
Got a worse last name. Nobody can spell it.
Exactly. But he became a movie star.
Beyond. I mean,
yeah, the movie
yeah.
star.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he wanted to get into politics, and he became the Republican governor
Yeah.
of our largest liberal state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. And well, fun fact: his first million came from real estate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, I highly recommend. I listened to it.
Recall. Total recall.
Yeah, I listened to it on CD. Back when cars had CD players.
Audible
But
now.
yeah, it is so worth it, and one of the best books I've ever read. But the biggest point that I ever got from that was that he treated everything like he did weightlifting, reps. And so when he wanted to become a movie star after bodybuilding,
Auditions.
it was reps, practice. He would stand in front of the mirror, reps,
Yep.
and more reps, the better you get. And then he wanted to become, a politician. So it was reps, as many dinners as he could do, as many interviews as he could do, as many handshakes as he could make, just reps. And he thought of it in terms of, how do I build those muscles?
Yeah.
More
for
reps,
you,
right?
For you, what does the reps translate to? What muscles are you wanting to build and grow in?
Well, I mean, I think to get me to this point, I think like the cold calling.
The 300 calls a day.
300 calls a day
Oh, yeah, for
really
sure,
helped.
dude.
Like I show up now and very rarely do I have any notes or do I write anything down even because I've had this conversation hundreds and hundreds of times. I can remember this stuff. And that's like the biggest difference that I see with like our new producers and me is that they will go in with a notepad and pen and already written down 3 or 4 pages of notes.
Yeah.
And I just show up, in my jeans and hoodie, and I'm ready to rock. And I think that that's the most clear example for us. But just like the accounting of our business and just like our company events and
Those
our
kind of
marketing
things. Yeah.
material and just like delivering our pitch on the Shield program and the affiliate marketing stuff, like all that stuff is going to take reps.
Yeah.
And the more reps we have, the better we will do.
Amen.
And so I think that those are the immediate.
For you to come out to our event on Friday, what did you get out of that? I know why Josh goes to those things. That's kind of his role. You know what I mean? But for you, I was stoked that you were there. You know what I mean?
So I'm not much of a planner because things change.
Yeah.
And
It was kind of last minute.
Events are, to quote the greatest American to ever live, Forrest Gump. It's like a box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're going to get.
For sure.
And so, and you actually witnessed it when I was there. We got to test out that link card. Like that was huge for me, and it led to so many other things. I mean, it led to our affiliate marketing program.
Wow.
Testing those out and, reaching out to the owner and discussing their affiliate program and implementing ours.
Wait a minute. Your affiliate idea, the
Came
affiliate
from
marketing
Link.
came from Link from that day, like 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Because today's Wednesday. No, 3 days ago?
No back burner, man. We don't,
There's no backlog.
No, we don't put anything on the back burner. So
No.
you
It's like
you
an
get onto
idea.
something, you do it, and you do it
Execute.
to completion. And that's the same thing if a client calls us. No back. They ask for something. We don't put it on the back burner and get to it later. You just drop what you're doing, finish it,
Do that
and
right then.
Get back to what you're doing. That was the biggest thing for me. Sitting here today was that I think that. Hearing you talk on stage was illuminating, I guess, or it was
me.
It was educational, and not so much that like, oh man, Title Leaves is awesome, but like that style or that type of opening, or just taking little bits and pieces of everything that you witness,
story.
and then try to implement it in your own way, is really big, right? I mean, you talking about your story has nothing to do with liens, it has nothing to do with workers' compensation, has nothing to do with court reporting,
Nothing.
But they got everybody focused on the stage, you got
Connected to
everybody in
me.
the right mode,
Yeah.
and put you in a good light for everybody,
Dude,
right?
storytelling is my powerful. That's like everyone's superpower is their story, dude. Your story you told today is a superpower, dude. That's like in your tool belt that you couldn't have bought, and now you can have it and you can wield it out, and it can fit and link people to you.
I think that's the first time I've ever like told people that. Like, I mean,
Wow.
obviously Josh knows it. Josh tells it more than I do, but
Yeah, he doesn't
I
even
don't
tell
know.
the full thing, dude. We got so much color.
I feel weird talking about myself. I don't know. It feels like not very humble, right?
No, dude,
So-
you came across super humble. But it is your story, and it's just the truth.
And it's a humbling story.
The humbling story. Like, I put that, Rick.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how you learn stuff, you know, and
Yeah.
it makes everything else so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you call some CEO of a company asking him to buy your services. Worst thing he could say is no. Worst thing that could happen is that
Yeah.
he says no.
Worst case scenario,
You're not
says
brushing
no.
your teeth in a Taco Bell bathroom. You're not sleeping on a beach. You're not showering in a gym. Like that is,
Yeah.
it's no big deal. Like I don't sweat the small stuff so much. I mean, even at home, you know, with, you know, family stuff, I just don't sweat the small stuff because
Yeah.
it could be so much worse. And I know firsthand.
Dude,
So
that's a great attitude. You're blessed. And you're grateful for it too. So that's even better. So like more blessing will come for people like that and humble about it.
yeah. And, you know,
I think it's cool.
I think the harder you work, the luckier you get, or
Oh, yeah,
more blessed
for
you
sure.
become.
Providence.
Yeah. And so so have you ever seen The Secret
Yeah.
Yeah.
or read The Secret?
Yeah, I know the gist of it.
Yeah. So essentially it's, I forget what they call it, but anyways, like you put positive vibes out in the universe,
and they come back.
it comes back, right? And
Yeah.
Universe, God, whoever whoever you're talking to up
Right,
there
right.
in the sky. And one problem I always had with that is that I could not sit in a room by myself and put out good vibes and just good shit happen to me. Right? That thinking out loud, saying things, and doing things results in the reaction, right? Or
Yeah, right.
whatever comes back to you. But it's a good practice, and this is what I got from The Secret, is the good practice is saying it out loud, and then that will lead to actions. Then your actions manifest what you were saying out loud, right? So they kind of skip that part in the whole
Yeah,
messaging, but you know, I mean, like they have a number of different examples, but like if you walk out to the mailbox and you just dread more bills, more bills,
Yeah.
right? But if you go out there thinking money, 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 then, you know, you'd probably be opening checks rather than,
Yeah.
But what they left out is that if you constantly think, and while you're in the shower, when you wake up and you dream about it, and while you're eating dinner, you just think about making money, yeah, the next time you go that'll lead to some sort of action to generate money.
In between
and then you
times.
go
Yeah.
to the mailbox. You probably
Ultimately,
have
the result.
checks
Sure.
versus bills, right? So, and that's what I mean by the harder you work, the luckier you
And
get.
visualizing it too, and like seeing the path, you know what I mean? Because I think that's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's also what you focus on but I think what you focus your mind on, you're going to head towards, whether that's positive or negative.
Without a doubt. I mean, and in that, they tell another story of a guy that, it's a real like elementary example, but he talks about getting a front row parking spot at work, right? And he's like, I'm in the shower and I'm visualizing myself. You know, he's turning the wheel. I know this isn't, you can't see, those of you on audio only.
Yeah.
You know, turning the wheel with his hand into that front row parking spot. And then he's getting dressed and he turns the other way into a front row parking spot. And then on his way to the office, he visualizes himself doing it. And he puts a smile on his face, knowing that he parks in that front row parking spot every time. When he gets there, the front row parking, he may have to do a lap or two, but a front row parking spot will open. And
That's right.
and maybe that's not so true literally, but you know, the silliness of it that 99% of people, maybe immature people, find silly, like him doing that in the shower, that is kind of silly, right?
Yeah.
And you know, just smiling.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of silly when nobody's around. Smiling alone in your car is silly. But you know, but those kind of things really do like put out an electricity vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And so, anyways,
Rick, do you smile alone when you're in the shower?
All the time.
you know, one thing that I did find, this is might seem weird, but in the mornings I will smile. I'm in my closet getting ready. I will smile, and instantly my mood changes.
Lifts.
Yeah.
Lifts you up
Yeah.
out
It
of
is-
whatever crap you might have woken up in, right?
It is strange.
Yeah.
Like I approach the day completely different when I do that. And it's just, I don't know, that's one of the very few
cool,
good
dude.
habits that I have.
The closest thing to that I have noticed in myself recently is that I started surfing the last 6 months because it was just something I wanted to add to my life. And so I took some lessons and now I'm out there. I got my own board and, you know, I'm out there as much as possible. When I'm out there, it's like 2 hours of a lot of paddling, and like I've had to really get my chest muscles and arm muscles and back muscles, up.
Super chiseled. If you guys, yeah,
No,
you
no.
guys can only see this right now.
No, but so
It's flexing for
that
us.
makes me smile. No, that's not what makes me smile. But like the work of it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll catch a wave, and then now you're back almost at the shore, so you got to paddle out there again, and battle the waves to get out there again. But like I'm finding myself smiling so much because of that. I don't know what it is. I've never had any exercise. I've never been that athletic. So like you had baseball and Rick has had soccer, and I've had nothing. I was like, rather go to math class or chess club than PE.
It's a different kind of endorphin.
Yeah, dude. So like the
released,
smile
right?
is on my face, and I'm out there. And no wonder the stereotypical surfer guy is like, "Oh, rad, dude," is all
rad,
happy and chill
super
because it's
chill.
like it flows over me, dude. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry to make it about
That's
me.
good. No, man. Have you ever seen a shark out there?
No, but millions and millions of dolphins.
Yeah.
Like all the time, like right as close as you and I are, about 3 or 4 feet away right now,
You're
dude.
sure they were dolphins?
Yeah, like pods of them. Shoot, they'll come up and they'll surf with you, and it's like
And they're
so
huge.
natural.
They're huge.
That's so
They are
cool,
huge.
man.
Yeah.
I'm so scared of sharks.
Oh yeah.
So I got a funny shark story. So I went to the Bahamas one time, and so we were on this boat with some people where English was a second language.
Yeah.
And we went out in the middle of nowhere, and it was like a shark excursion or whatever. Right? So
To see sharks.
yeah,
That's the point.
Yeah, so this guy's like, excuse me, and comes walking through the boat and throws a rope out into the ocean. Then he has this bucket of chum.
Yeah.
And he's like poking holes in it with his knife, and he drops it down into the ocean like 30 feet down. And he says, "Who wants to get out and swim with the sharks?" And you could see like maybe 30 or 40 sharks.
Your hand went up right away.
Hell no. 30. I'm in risk management.
I know, yeah.
So, and I forget how old I was. I was maybe, I don't remember how old.
College
I was.
days.
No, it was before that. I think I was maybe a freshman.
Oh, okay.
And anyways, he's like, "All right, who wants to swim with the sharks?" And nobody's.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, and my stepdad's like, "You won't." I was like, "Oh man, why'd you have to say that?"
Now I have to.
So yeah, now I have to. That's
What?
That's definitely the kind of
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my character, right? Is I
I
have to prove that I can do this. And I'm like, all right, well, are these things going to eat me? And he said, no, but I want you to keep your hands on the rope because the bottom of your hands are the same color as the fish that they eat.
So they get confused.
And I'm
bite your hand
like,
off.
okay, all right. Like,
Okay.
if you're sure. And he's like, oh, yeah, no problem, man. Yeah. Like,
Pretty
all right.
sure.
All right, so I get out. Of course, I'm the first one out, like an idiot. And I'm at the end of this rope, farthest away from the boat. And there's like 4 other people that got out of the 20-something.
How big are these
on
sharks?
the boat. Oh, dude, they were
Like
8
massive sharks?
Yeah, they were like 8 feet.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
And so, yeah, definitely bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I forget what they were. They're like blacktip sharks or something like that. So, anyways,
Deadly.
I'm at the end of this rope, farthest away from the boat. And I'm out there, and these sharks, and I'm looking down, and I can see these sharks circling this bucket of chum. And eventually, they get annoyed with that. They're not attracted to that anymore, and they start circling us,
Oh no.
which is a scary freaking feeling.
How deep are you, by the way?
I'm not deep. I'm on the
Oh, just
surface.
on surface level
Yeah.
with a snorkel.
No, I was just looking down.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden you see these fins on top of the water. And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So as these things are circling us, I'm thinking, the bottom of my feet are the same color as the bottom of my hands.
You didn't mention those.
And so I'm going back on this rope, going around people, getting my ass back on the boat.
Oh, dude.
That's hilarious.
What kind of excursion, like adventure tour did you guys go on, dude? Just like,
We met a couple guys in the alley, and
yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
it definitely wasn't booked online.
I have something similar also from the Bahamas for my honeymoon.
Shark story?
Shark story.
Okay.
All right, so basically, I was in my honeymoon. We went to the Bahamas, and my wife and I, and we ended up getting this tour with a bunch of like senior citizens. They're all senior citizens, and my wife and I, and so we're the 2 young ones. All of a sudden, we went, and she went to go and sunbathe with all the older ladies, all the, and then I went with fishing with all the guys. We had a little yacht, so we went out, and then they were fishing, but with the actual line without a pole. No,
Yeah, they hold it in
Yeah,
their hand.
they're holding it in their hand.
Uh-huh.
So
That's painful.
Yeah, so but they weren't catching anything, so it was getting boring. And the guy was like, hey, "Anybody want to go snorkeling?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go snorkeling." And another guy had snorkel gear himself. Anyways, we jump into the water, and I start seeing that the fish are actually really close to the hooks, but they're nibbling, and these guys are not pulling right. So I said, "Hey guys, every time I stick up my thumb, that means there's fish nibbling on your hook. Just yank it up."
Yeah.
So they did. Boom, got one. Boom, got another. Boom, 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 and it worked. So I'm all having fun doing, and I'm maybe
You're the guy
50,
or like the fish whisperer.
yeah, I am, and I'm like 50, 60 feet away from the boat, right? And I'm like, all of a sudden, I see this guy swimming next to me, and then I look to my side, and I see a shark swimming right by me, and I'm like, oh no, and I'm like telling the other guy like, hey, there's a shark, and underwater with a snorkel, and he's like, what? And I'm like, you can hear the, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, shark, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I go, and I just literally skip off the water. I'm like
a cartoon.
Yes, I'm swimming so fast.
Jesus.
And then the guys are all at the boat, and they're like, the
What's wrong,
the
kid?
captain, he's like, oh no, because right before that, when I was gonna jump in, I was like, well, are there any sharks? And he goes, no, man, no sharks, man, no
Yeah, of
sharks.
course
And then, so when I get to the boat, he goes, I'm like, you told me there weren't sharks, and he goes, nah, man, that shark don't bite, man. I was like, yeah, he's not a vegan shark, bro.
Wow.
It was about 7 feet
Oh my
or
gosh.
so. I was so scared, freaking out,
You have a
skipping
good
on
story
water.
now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, be careful out there, man.
Super.
Yeah.
I know. Well, if I'm going to go though, dude, I mean,
What
shark
beach?
bite is pretty badass.
What beach?
Bolsa Chica, Huntington, just North Huntington Beach, or
Dude, I see
San
on the
Onofre.
news all the
San
time
Onofre.
where great white sharks are swimming through Huntington Beach.
I know, but they haven't been bit. There's no been bite. There hasn't been anyone
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, yet.
True.
One guy got bit last year. He was out. This was in Central California.
Yeah,
like, up the
Monterey.
coast.
So
yeah, up there.
I hear the babies are
The
more dangerous
Little adolescents
because
because they don't know better.
they don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I'm going with that.
They're testing
So,
the waters.
I remember seeing one time on the news, it was like 13 young great white sharks
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that were
scary.
swimming
Like right
through,
here.
and I'm like,
I know, dude.
That's it for me.
Yeah.
So true. I mean, if it's gonna happen, I mean that's gonna be a cool story.
Yeah,
Todd got
that's
eaten
true.
by a shark, or
Yeah.
he got bit and he bled out. He
Yeah.
couldn't get to his.
I'm
the
more
worst
of a
one-
lake
Yeah.
and
More of a lake guy?
pontoon boat kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
guy.
Dude, we're all gonna go somewhere.
Being from the Midwest. Yeah.
Zach Brown, you've been an amazing guest, dude. We could just here and chill all day, have some
Get some brewskis.
brewskis going, but I know you got to work.
I got to work
We all
for a
gotta work.
living. I got to work for a living. Yeah,
All right.
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This is really cool what you guys do. You got an awesome setup here, man.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
man.
much for coming, dude. How would you like people to reach out to you if they want to?
I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. LinkedIn is probably the easiest way for everybody, but
Yep. Yep.
zbrown@modernrain.com, and my cell phone 317-417-7850.
Cool. All right, everybody. This has been a great show. Thanks for listening to the T.O.A. Storytellers podcast. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye.
See ya.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Todd. I just want to let you know this T.O.A. Storytellers podcast episode is sponsored by my company, Todd Olivas & Associates. We've been supplying court reporters for depositions since 2003. If you're an attorney and need a reporter anywhere in California, we've got you covered. We're on a lot of preferred vendor panels already, but if we're not on the ones you have, usually a simple inquiry from you to your TPA or employer does the trick. Or if you work at a TPA or employer, please ask your defense attorneys to give us a try on one of your files. We've been known to treat our clients like family, and we would love a chance to work with you next. To schedule a deposition, simply call 888-566-0253 or visit www.toddolivas.com. That's www.toddolivas.com. Thank you, and hopefully we'll see you at your next deposition.